Ukraine launches daring new offensive as Putin's troops struggle in -5 winter. February 10, 2026. Russian military sources claim Ukraine has launched a new offensive in the Dnipropetrovsk-Zaporizhzhia region with several attacks already reported. The new offensive campaign comes amid frigid, below-freezing temperatures and rough winter conditions in the region, which could complicate the operation. On Monday, the region was experiencing temperatures of -5 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Fahrenheit. The Kyiv Post first reported on the new offensive campaign. It remains unclear what sectors were targeted in the reported attacks. It comes as a chilling Russian NATO nuclear hit list emerged in declassified files. The latest attacks come just hours after Russian forces launched several overnight strikes in multiple regions in Ukraine, killing at least one civilian and injuring dozens more, including children and elderly citizens. The strikes targeted residential neighborhoods and civilian infrastructure, Ukrainian officials reported. The attacks initially launched on Saturday night and continued into early Sunday. In Dnipropetrovsk, Russian forces reportedly began attacks shortly after midnight, injuring a 10-year-old boy who was rushed to the hospital, but is now in stable condition. 3 private homes were also damaged, Oleksandr Hanja, head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, announced. The latest strikes and offensive line come amid ongoing peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, brokered by the Trump administration. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the U.S. is hoping to get a deal with the two countries by June, an ambitious timeline that would provide him the opportunity to focus on this year's midterm elections. Ukraine and Russian officials met last week for a second round of peace negotiations in Abu Dhabi. The talks were mediated by envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who is also the president's son-in-law. The round of negotiations was apparently productive, with Zelensky saying on Friday that Russia was more interested in holding a concrete discussion on how to end the war, rather than historical arguments. "We stand where we stand" is the fairest and the most reliable model, in our view, for a ceasefire today, Zelensky said. The Americans are proposing that the war be brought to an end by the beginning of this summer, and they will presumably pressure the parties according to this timeline. That same day, President Trump also showed optimism about reaching a deal in the near future. "We had very good talks today, having to do with Russia-Ukraine. Something could be happening," Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One on Friday, though he provided few details about the contents of the discussions. By the Daily Express, story by Maria Villarroel, February 10, 2026.